In episode 4, I introduced 2 out of the 3 important functions that are commonly used in functional programming. But why did I leave one of them out? Well, I'm a barely functional dev, but I'm going to rectify that and complete the trifecta for you today. So to start off, let's just recap a little bit about the 2 functions we covered before. First of all, there's map. And map works in the analogy that I use here like an assembly line in a factory where we have each item of the same kind comes in, we perform some transformation, some upgrade, some improvement, some change to that, and on the outside, on the other side, the changed version, the improved, the souped up, the supercharged version of that thing gets spit out. Okay. The second one of them is filter, and filter operates one at a time on the items like map. But the difference is that filter works like the QA in our factory. It gets to decide what comes out the other end, whether it meets the quality standards of our factory or not. And so in this case, it would do a check of all the vehicles coming in and see, is this thing supercharged? Is it racy enough for what I want to ship to my consumers? And then out the result is, if it is, it comes out the other end. If not, it gets blocked. It doesn't come out. Okay, so now let's reset. We're going back to a blank factory here. And now instead of having just a one-way conveyor belt, I'm going to introduce the concept of a circular conveyor belt here. So items enter in from the left side. They go around in a circle as many times as it takes, and then they get spit out on the right side. Okay, so for this example, what we're going to use is, let's say this factory is building teddy bears. So we have all of our teddy bear parts on the left side come in, and we have our completed teddy bears on the right. And so the way this works here is each of the parts goes around and around in this circular conveyor belt, and when it enters this reduce, which by the way is the new function that we're introducing today, reduce is special in that it operates on, instead of transforming the elements one at a time or including or excluding the elements one at a time, it combines all of the elements to produce a single result on the other side. So what you can imagine here is we go around and around with the different pieces. We've got the ears come in at some point, the eyes come in, the face comes in, the paw prints come in, and each time those come in, we have our tailoring that stitches together the new item that's entering into our reduce, and it combines it, it reduces it with the other items that have already come through this process. And this goes around as many times as it takes until we have a completed teddy bear that spits out on the other side. So looking at this in terms of what pseudocode for this might look like, if you had all of the bear parts already declared and inventoried for the ears, the eyes, the paws, the head, so on, and then we have our function, and that function does the work of the reduce box that we just looked at, where we take the partially assembled bear so far, and we take the bear part that's coming in, the next item. Our function here is able to take those 2 pieces, combine them together, and create the next partially assembled bear. Once we have those pieces, what we can do is we can use the reduce function here to take all the parts and then reduce over them, passing them that function that will operate with the partially completed bear, each of the parts then being stitched together one at a time into it. And then the last thing that our reduce needs is we need to give it a starting point. So in this case, we start with an empty bear, some item, some initial state, whatever you want to call this starting value that is passed in to the first time we want to combine essentially the first part with nothing that's already been assembled yet. So in this case, that would be nothingness, the empty bear, if as it were. And so this is just giving a brief introduction to how reduce works as a concept. Obviously, there's a lot more power, and fundamentally, there's a lot of things you can do with reduce. In fact, you can even use reduce to represent all of the other functionality we've already talked about. You can rewrite filter, you can rewrite map using reduce, and I might do that at some point. but I just want this to serve as a gentle introduction to how Reduce works. Let me know what you thought about this in the comments, and let me know where you want me to take this channel, how advanced concepts you want me to go, what types of topics you want me to cover. All the things, please tell me. Thank you.